what we originally talked about is doing the symposium or whatever we want to call it, panel discussion at TPC at the Country Club in Summerlin, where we would have a panel of 3 or 4 local people. Uh, they have some people have recommended Judge Voy, who does a lot of work on the bench in this area. Uh, Christina Vella, who is the executive director from St. Jude's Children's Ranch, and Kate, who's on the line here, she's on the board of that organization. And then maybe we would take a look at having uh, maybe a survivor and probably someone different. I know we've used Kimberly, but probably we would maybe bring in someone different. That's the thought. What are your thoughts on doing something like that? And for those of you who were around, it's sort of comparable in a way to what we did with Don Snyder. Don Snyder, who's a philanthropist here in Las Vegas, we brought him in for an evening, sort of like an interview type thing, and just to talk about his philanthropy and what he had done. And it was a very informal. In fact, Matt had a lot to do with that. And so we're thinking of the same type of thing. So what are your thoughts about this?
I think that's a good starting point. I think that's a good idea.
We can, I can see that the date, October 19 is still available at TPC. And then Mike Levy told me that he could reach out to Judge Voy for us. He knows Judge Voy, but he would need to give Judge Voy a definite date and time and what's expected of him. So we need to have that kind of written up to send out to our speakers.
So, okay, other thoughts about the event? And
I like it, Michael. And so I missed January, so I missed that other idea. But I had gotten you synced up with the Hope Church Purchased LV program. That's all
Right.
child sex trafficking. Pretty sure we could probably get their executive director.
Ooh,
Okay,
And they are patterning themselves after a program, I think that was done in like Kentucky or somewhere maybe in the Southeast type area. And there is a lady there who is a survivor and has been really helpful in helping other organizations that want to help in this.
this is at Hope Church, right?
Hope Church, yeah. So
Yeah,
Hope
That's
where she's
great.
at. Okay, great.
and the pastor's great. He sat in on our, I invited him to sit in on when we did that symposium a month or so back when we had that child sex trafficking on
Mhm.
National Sex Awareness Day deal. He sat in on that and
Mhm.
I've had some conversations with him since then. I think he'd be a great addition, whether it's him. I think it probably would be the executive director for that particular organization that's
Mhm.
Hope Church. And then bring in the lady from the Southeast, potentially be a speaker, because
Okay,
And we could bring in a speaker from anywhere because we could have them on the screen.
good point. Yeah, good point. But she does
Would
come here.
that be,
We could potentially schedule
oh,
a visit
okay.
when we do our event here.
yeah.
It may be, of course, more impactful if she were here in person.
Yep, I think so.
And we realize that there may be some expense involved with this. And I mentioned to Michael when he and I spoke this week that, and Neil Roth is kind of involved with this too. We could perhaps sell sponsorships for this night, like we did Don Snyder. And I think that members of our club would be quite generous.
Yeah, part of the thought that what Linda's talking about, we were thinking it would maybe since we're not going to really pay for speakers, but maybe to provide individuals either with an honorarium or certain people who can't accept that because of their work responsibilities, maybe make a donation to some charity or an organ. If they work for, let's say, Hope Church, we'll just say, maybe we'll just make a donation to Hope Church
Or St. Jude's.
or
yeah.
St. Jude or, whatever. Or if we use someone from the Metropolitan Police Department, there are some police type of organizations that helps them raise money for things that maybe the budget doesn't provide. So what are your thoughts about doing that? And
I
what,
think it's great.
and what level should we do? If,
I'd sell $250 sponsorship.
what about 250?
That's a palatable number.
And what about
Maybe
on
sell
the,
4 of them.
and how much would we do with the honorarium or the donation?
Well, I'd have to know what you've done in the past. I mean, I don't know what Rotary Club of Summerlin's done. I don't know, $1,000, $2,000. What's a good number for you?
We haven't done this before. This is all new territory for us.
No,
What other
the
nonprofits?
last time,
Yeah, go ahead, Linda.
no, we've done 500, we've done 250. We want to make it meaningful to the organization. And Neil Roth, look up from your phone.
Not
What do
looking
you
at my
think is a
phone.
good number?
I'm looking at you. You're in the bottom left-hand side.
All right. What do you think is a good number to work with as a donation? I mean, we want to be,
As a donation, I would say 500.
yeah, probably.
But I would also look at when we're talking about having people sponsor. I would do sort of like what everybody else does in this kind of business. You have a platinum, gold, and silver sponsorship, and you put a little book together to give out or something to hand out to people with their names, all the stuff like they do.
So, okay, so you do what, 250?
I do like 500, 250, and 50, just so we get a lot of people who don't have a lot of money,
Okay.
they can put something in.
And this is kind of sensitive, Neil, because it impacts you, because this would
Well,
happen.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
This is a little sensitive because it impacts you, because it would occur during the year when you're fundraising for your next year.
Well, what's that money gonna be used for?
Well, if we do donations to the speaker's favorite charity, then that's what the money was going to be used for.
I mean, I think we can go to a whole different group of people for that kind of donation,
Mhm.
truthfully.
So you're not worried about it. Good.
No, we're gonna do the wine thing in the fall, but the biggest thing is hopefully we're gonna be able to do a 25th anniversary Mardi Gras type deal.
Yeah.
Really blow it up,
Mhm.
Folks, I'm signing off. Sorry. Just a quick, just to let you know, I have spoken with Ken White since your last meeting, since the group met. And so he and I are collaborating, not on anything as major as, you were hoping to involve him in, but that getting together with this group has brought Ken and me together. Of course, he's in Pasadena, which is right on the other side of downtown LA. And so, but that's a good thing. And he's really motivated. So thank you for that connection. I will always try to join you guys for a little bit. And if I can be of any assistance, let me know. And everybody get your shots.
Okay.
Cosette.
Thank you very much, Cosette. Have a nice evening.
Same to you. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Okay. So let's go, so we should just go ahead and let's sign up at TPC for the 19th of October.
Okay.
And I think by then we should be able, well, the way things are opening up right now,
Yeah.
by
We're
then we
looking-
should be able to do a live event. I can't
We're
imagine.
looking pretty positive by then.
Yeah. So, okay, so let's do that 6 to 8 p.m. And then,
And we may, because there's a change of the guard in process at TPC. So in the past, because TPC is a member of the club, they've done some great stuff for us. And Matt is a member, I'm a member, got several members of TPC in the Rotary Club. But I can't guarantee that there'll be no rental because they have a new GM that'll be hired soon. So I can certainly approach them right now. In the past, we've done a cash bar at these things, and we've guaranteed a minimum for the cash bar. So we'll have to decide as a group what kind of a guarantee we're willing to make on the cash bar. And what
What have
happens,
guarantees been before, Linda?
depends on the size of the group that you're gathering. Kate, do you remember what we had as a guarantee? I don't remember either.
Matt, I know you were involved in that. Do you remember?
No, but I would say, I'm just trying to think of events that I've done there.
Like if you have 200 people, they're gonna probably look for at least $1,000, $1,200 on the bar.
Mhm.
I'd say $1,000 would be probably a number to look at.
And then what happens is if you don't make up the guarantee, the club will have to fork that over.
Yep.
Which in the past, we have never had a problem with.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, even if you get
Yeah,
half the
there's nothing
audience
like a
buying
good topic
something.
to bring out the drinkers, right?
Yeah,
Well, but, you know, a lot of that's gonna, you know, also, because I've been to some clubs where the prices that they put on the liquor was so ridiculous, nobody wanted to buy any.
That's
So we-
happened too, yeah.
I
So,
don't think
you know,
that's the case at TPC. There,
Yeah,
if
'cause
you're gonna have a Grey Goose martini, yeah, you're gonna pay 15, 20 bucks, but
yeah, they were
You're
pretty
gonna- I mean, how much
reasonable.
you're gonna pay for a beer? I mean, if you got a $10 beer, that's a problem.
Yeah, the
how
beer's
many
not-
are you gonna have, Neil Roth?
I don't drink beer, so I'm
I
not gonna have
know.
any.
do you drink one?
Busted.
I only drink scotch.
Oh. Top shelf, right?
I'll look into all of that and, but do we want a bar? Or do we want to just pay a room rental? But I think you need a bar.
No, definitely a bar.
Yeah, I think I agree.
All right,
I don't think we want any,
let me ask you a
they-
question. Let's think about this for a second.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
trying to think of the appropriateness of having a bar at a sex trafficking meeting.
totally appropriate.
Okay.
I don't think we need to get into the food thing. Opinions?
Well, what time, it's at 6 o'clock?
Gotta
Yeah,
do something.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but you've got, we've got to do some kind of food, even if it's, even if it's
Even if it's just
hors d'oeuvres
cheese platters and vegetable platters. or
yeah, we
something.
always have, we
and
have
dry
some
snacks.
people in our club who shall remain nameless, who bitch and moan and whine and complain if their husband doesn't have a big sandwich on the plate, so.
But a food sponsor. Suppose there's a restaurant.
That, the sponsorship is key here. You're correct. We
Will
could
they
have-
let people bring in food though?
No,
No, we'd have to have a sponsor to sponsor the food at TPC, and they're pretty
okay.
fair in their pricing.
You
So
know,
they won't allow you to bring in a restaurant.
No,
they do all the catering.
I
I mean, they
think
tend to give us a pretty good, well, we don't
They
know, as
do.
Linda said, there's a new GM, but they tend to give us pretty good pricing.
that's why we may want to put a fire on this because the new GM won't be hired until March, right, Matt?
yeah, I would say try and lock it in now.
Yep,
And I'd say do it at 5 or 5:30. 6 o'clock's getting kind of late.
5:30.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we
Well-
don't know where the world's going to be at that point, but I think 5:30, unless everybody else thinks that's just too early.
Well, the level of people that we had at the last one could leave any time they want.
Well, we could start at 5:30 with registration or whatever you want to call it, and then the
Yeah,
speakers
well,
at 6.
yeah, that's a good thing. Have the 5:30 start, the bar opens at 5:30, speakers at 6. I would keep the program to no more than an hour,
Yeah.
If
even
we're
though
done
it's
at
tight.
7,
You know, it can happen. And then they're out of there by 7 o'clock.
if there's, if there's tremendous interest, then it might go over. That, we'll worry about that at that time. Okay.
There you go.
Because the last one we did, we had the whole ballroom last time, I think.
No,
We just had the back part. But we,
Okay.
That's the back part. Yeah, I remember. I was there. It was just the back, but you feel it.
Okay,
It all depends if we have to do social distancing at any level at that point. That's going to make the difference.
yeah, of course.
We were literally sitting cheek to cheek, so to speak.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, if they're opening up things to 50%,
Frank Engstrom, you're driving me nuts. Are you there or not?
Yeah, because after May 1, it's up to the local jurisdictions to make the rules on what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and it's 50%, I think, as
And
of March.
I think TPC would be smart enough to put it in the contract to have it in. Yeah, I think TPC will be smart enough to have it in the contract. If not, we'll take a look at it and make sure that it's in there that we can make adjustments pending current rules, right?
Right.
Okay, so Linda,
I'll look
Matt,
into that.
Linda and Matt, do you want to work together on setting this all up?
Yeah, you bet. And a Tuesday evening, I don't think there's not going to be a super high demand for a Tuesday evening.
No,
So it'll be in
no,
good shape.
no.
That date.
Not in October.
Well, when is I know we looked at this before. I just don't have it in front of me. When's the golf tournament?
It's early.
That's
It's
in
earlier.
September,
So this will be after.
late September.
Got it.
I think it's the last week of September, if I remember right.
Okay.
Yeah, because the other date we had was the 14th, I think it was, of September. Or this
Yeah.
one.
And we decided, I think, Michael, you and I talked that that's a little soon after Labor Day, and let's
Yeah,
let the fall percolate a little bit.
At the golf tournament, can you promote this event?
We might be able to,
At the time,
although that's the Shriners' big push for money, so we can't interfere with that. But because Matt and I are members and other people are members, and TPC is a member of the club, in the past, they have promoted our events. They promoted Don Snyder for us.
And
And
within
we did have members of the club attend that who really enjoyed it.
Sure. And for those people who may want to come back to this event, can certainly spread the word that they had a good time on the other event.
Yeah,
It's not going to cost anything to promote from within.
So we're gonna be promoting this in like the Summerlin newspapers and 89134.
well, do you want to create a budget for this?
No, I'm talking about getting press.
And it's not always free.
well, we know we're gonna have the donations, that's an expense. And we know at TPC, we don't know, we're hoping that there won't be a room rental. But then if we have, as Kate mentioned, if we have like hors d'oeuvres or something, there's gonna be an expense for that. And I don't know what a per person would be for that.
You're probably Linda, $25 to $35 a head. I'm guessing.
Inclusive, yeah, well,
That's what I'm thinking.
they've done it for less, but then that's when we get the complaints that, oh,
You're going to run out of food, and that's the worst thing. And that's when people say it wasn't worth it. But I think in my travels, and Linda, probably yours, any decent buffet is going to be 25 to 35 a head. How about public service announcements, PSAs? They don't cost
Yes.
you anything.
But wait a minute. We're not charging people to come to this, are we?
No.
no,
No.
So they
That would
don't have
be
they don't
something
have
that-
a whole lot. They don't have a whole lot of legs to stand on about what they get, how much food they get.
Yeah.
but I would think that part of this money would come from Michael's fundraising for that he's doing right now. This is an initiative that we're promoting, so some of the
And-
money will come from the fundraising we're doing right now.
Yeah. Well, and we'll have a better picture after April 17th,
Mhm.
or maybe even.
We
we'll
don't have
it
to set a
before April
menu. We
17th.
can get the room reserved right
Yeah,
now. We can get, what if we do this? What is the room rental going to be? If the bar is this, what's the room rental going to be? So we'll work, Matt, you and I, let's work on that together.
Yeah, I think we could just get some quotes on that.
okay.
I think
So,
so
yeah,
too.
so we'll let Linda and Matt work on that. And
Can I ask you a question? How many people, Matt, are you figuring that you're gonna get in there?
what do we have for Snyder?
We have between 150 and 200 for Snyder.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's theater seating.
I'm thinking if we do this event 75 to 100, unless we get the whole room, and then we could potentially get 150.
Well,
I
we
think
only
we
used
should
the
get-
half of the room.
Yeah, we only used half the room with Don Snyder, and I don't think we had 200 here, Linda. I'm thinking it was more the 100 number.
Okay, well, I'll get seating chart, but it holds quite a bit.
Well, yeah, you can ask when you talk to them what the seating,
Yeah,
I'm only asking because that's gonna determine how much it's gonna cost to do like food and stuff like that, that's all.
right.
Yeah, the food's probably, you're looking, what, 1,500 to 2 grand probably. That's not gonna be a small number.
I mean, I thought, what are we doing, food or hors d'oeuvres?
We didn't do any food with Don Snyder. We
Nope.
just did a bar.
And you
so
had,
what are the thoughts? Do we need to do hors d'oeuvres or not?
I vote no.
I would just put up just put up some vegetable plates and dried snacks and,
Anything you get into like that, you have theater seating. You don't have tables. It's a expletive deleted mess.
And you got people, yeah,
That's why you have it a little later.
Hmm.
So people have the chance to.
if you're thinking
I
of it that
will
way,
tell you that the TPC bar and had never been busier than that night. It was the bomb that night in the bar. Afterwards, everybody went in the bar. They made a lot of money that.
yeah, that was a good show. I mean, we
And the
had,
other thing that happened that night, and TPC is a member of our club, they were able to promote their own membership that night.
yep, that's right.
Yeah,
but we can still do the same thing. Okay.
it's a lot to think about. I think maybe you need to have a kind of a little subcommittee just to work
Yeah.
on this and go for it. And Kate is experienced in event planning. She
Yeah.
knows all about it. Joel knows all about it. Matt's
Well,
a
do you
member. I'm a
four want to
member.
work on that, Kate, Joel, Matt, and Linda?
I'd be happy to.
How about, why don't we do that and let you four put together what it is?
For the next meeting.
Yeah, for the next meeting
Yeah.
in March. And then after that meeting, we can figure out the budget, and then we'll put together also a committee to then look at fundraising or sponsorships or whatever it is we're gonna do. So then we know approximately what our budget is gonna be and what we need to raise.
Yeah.
And I know some money will be able to come out of the fundraising budget, but we won't know until April,
Yeah.
and so we'll have a clearer picture at the time. Okay, so but that's okay. And then I'm just making some notes. Fundraising will be later. Okay, any other, and then speakers. Okay. Now, we have mentioned some people. Let Neil, how about Rick and Neil and myself? Why don't we work together on the speakers? And
Okay.
if committee members have recommendations like Matt had from Hope Church, would you send them to me? And then Neil and Rick and I can then, vet them, and so that we can confirm them next month. And then at that time, we can then have whoever reach out to whoever we would like to have. And that
Okay.
should give enough time, because that's March. Yeah, that's 7 months. Yeah. And
And Matt, if we get Hope Church involved and one of them would like to come to our meeting and say a few words, I'd be so up for that. I think that's so great. And Kate, if St. Jude's, if your person would like to come on and say a few words, I'd love that. I think let's make it fluid and make it work and get the members involved, because that's how the purses will open up, if we get the members involved and initiated. I told I had a nice visit with Kimberly, who's on the committee, but she's not here tonight, Kate. And I told her that you've done a great job with St. Jude's, because I'm on monthly giving and I'm not giving a lot. It's like a little bit to Rotary, but we're pretty involved with St. Jude's. Our club is involved with St. Jude's.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, I think it would also be good to maybe, we haven't done any donations to St. Jude, have we? I don't think, have we, Kate, the club?
No, I
So
mean, I
this might-
personally do, but not as a
Not as a
club.
club.
Not for a while. I think in the past, we may have, because I've been affiliated with the club since 99, except for a 6-year absence. Well, I owned the Dairy Queen and ended a marriage and blah, blah, blah. But I think there may have been some,
Was it St. Jude's Ranch for Children or
Yes.
was it the hospital? Okay,
no, it was the ranch. It was
Okay.
the
It's
ranch.
been a long time.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think it's important too that the people know the difference, because
Mhm.
we had somebody who wanted to join our club from St. Jude's Hospital, and he kind of dropped off the radar naturally. We didn't encourage that, but the ranch is in our backyard.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, that
It's
could
not-
also be something that, you know, you remember Linda with our conversation about the foundation. Those are the kind of things that
Yeah.
the foundation can.
And Neil is on the foundation. In July, I'll be on the foundation. The foundation is another source of funding for local groups. So yeah.
Matt, would you send me information about that, the woman you mentioned from Hope Church? And contact information, whatever, and Neil and Rick and I will talk about that.
Yeah, yeah, I'll send you the details on their program too, purchased,
Mhm.
because they are synced up with the courts now. They work with Judge Boy, they know him well. And they basically have, you know, a program for
Mhm.
between 5 and 10 teenagers each year.
Oh, wow. So
Okay.
if they know Judge Boyd, if they know him, it's another way there. So that's great.
Yeah, be nice hookup.
Hi,
for
Rick
us.
Angstrom.
You know,
Yeah.
Michael, I just got I'm on the committee. The St. Jude's Ranch for Children is doing this event in May called There's No Place Like Hope. And it's the Wizard of Oz theme. And they're asking, of course, for sponsorships and donations. Maybe we could make a donation to that,
Okay.
a small donation.
What are the levels? Do you know offhand?
I haven't opened the email yet.
Oh,
So I'll take a look at it and send you a copy and see if
Okay.
we're able to do that.
and this is in when again, May?
It's in May.
Okay,
It's actually going to be, it's not a virtual event. It's actually going to be everybody. I think she's limited to 200 people.
that's still quite a few.
Yeah, but it's at the Venetian in one of their huge ballrooms. So they still have, they're going to, separate it into 4 different rooms and so they can social distance and everything, but it's going to be a
Is this
big event.
dinner or?
Wow.
Is this a
Yeah, it's
dinner?
gonna Linda, it's gonna kind of be like on the way that they do Wine, Women and Shoes.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, it's a pretty big event. So maybe if we make a donation to them before, in May, then maybe they will help us, with this event in October.
Well,
Mhm.
what does a table or something like that cost in that thing?
Yeah, I'll have to open up the email when I get
Kate,
to the phone.
send me all that when you
Okay.
can.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Neil, but I'll send you guys a copy of it.
Well, I mean, there's a couple, if depending on what it is, it may be the foundation springs for a table there and we send some
Yeah,
people
I
and
mean,
start
there's
creating
different levels.
relationship.
Yeah.
Start creating some relationship directly with them,
Okay.
Well-
I know
well,
there's
the
different
thing
levels.
is-
I'll send you a copy.
I mean, the
That-
thing is also, if we get a table, we just split it up and whatever it is, 100, if it's $1,000 and you got 8 people,
Yeah.
we just do the 125 or whatever it is
Ain't
individually.
gonna be $1,000, but yeah.
Yeah, Kate.
Well, I don't know. I'm just throwing it
dial
out.
us
I
in
have
on
no
that.
idea. I'm just throwing that figure out. I know. It could be
Yeah,
more,
just, everybody should dial everyone else in on things like that.
Okay.
It's kind of a good deal. And I know there was some question early in my presidency about sharing other causes on our Facebook and LinkedIn, but I feel like we're all connected and I think it's
Mhm.
all going to a good place. And I'm not territorial about money. I think it's great.
Well, I especially think it's good since they, help abused and trafficked children. So
Do
it's kind
amazing
of along
things in
our
a lot of
theme.
ways. So.
What'd you say?
They do amazing things. They're a great deal. I love them.
Yep. What do you want? Just a
Okay,
minute.
so we're pretty well settled on, yeah,
October 19th.
event and, yeah, if you get any, I know I get emails from some of the committee members about events and other things happening in the community organizations. Yeah, if you forward those things, then I can just send them out to the committee. So everybody is informed on what is going on beyond our club. So
Okay.
that's basically what the event's going to look like right now in the fall. One of the things in planning, and I had a long talk with Kimberly about this and some other people, is this will probably not happen to probably early 22, is that one of our goals is uh, to create an educational program that spreads across the entire district. Um, we have the district governor, Roger Gutierrez, who's going to be the district governor in 22, 23. This campaign is one of the things he's going to champion during his term. And so one of the things we're looking at is to be able to bring in somebody, we would have to hire someone who would, an expert in the area, who would train Rotarians in various areas of the district. And again, this district stretches from Mesquite to Pasadena roughly. And to train them on how to educate and to talk to clubs about how to educate people about child sex trafficking. And that will be a rather ambitious undertaking, but we're also one that will have to involve money. We'll have to budget for it and figure out how to raise money for that. Uh, because we'll need to hire a subject matter expert who can put together a curriculum and do the initial training of, I have no idea how many it would be. And then maybe once we have that up and running, then we might have what maybe some of the people would then become the trainers, train the trainers, where they would now take over from whatever that SME has done.
Yeah, Michael and I talked about that this week, and I think this is golden. If we create this program, this belongs to this Rotary Club. But of course, we'll be generous with it.
Mhm.
But we will require people to go through training to use this program. And there may be some cost involved. It should be pretty minimal. But we want to make sure that if we create something that's really great, and I think we will, that people who use it correctly. Do you agree, Michael?
Yes. And so the goal would be is basically probably once we get this meeting in the fall set, that then we will start working after that on our committee meetings to start getting this off the ground and to look at particular fundraising for this and the cost, so that we could probably launch this in, we'll say, January of 22. And the idea is to have these people up and trained. So when Roger starts his term in July of 22, these people are now available to go out in whatever area of the district they represent to do presentations with clubs. And so I haven't totally explored this with Roger. I'm going to be talking to him in a few days, but this is sort of the idea that we are looking at this point and to explore. So at this point, we're not going to really do much planning, but just to keep it in the back of your mind and to start thinking about this. I'm going to figure that probably by May, we're going to pretty well have the October event pretty well solidified. And then maybe beginning that month or maybe in June, then we can start planning on this training aspect of the campaign. Um, and and then there's other things that are come out of this initiative too. Eventually, we want to do training for parents and training for children. And one of the other things that came out, a suggestion I think we talked about before, is to do an app, a proprietary app that people can download on their phones. And we would actually have two versions, one for parents, guardians or adults, and the other one to be for kids. And for the kids app, we could educate them, but we would have games and whatever it is that would intrigue, kids on that particular platform. One of the things, is that I have found some people have contacted me that there is really a need for this, because a lot of people don't realize what to do when they find out that their child is maybe not doing anything. But there are so many apps out there that kids download for meeting people.
So Michael, what are some of those apps? And you have to tell the group, although you don't have to relay any names,
Yeah.
that you had something happen this week.
Yeah, I had a member, I will say that, I had a member call me a couple of weeks ago, and the member said that the daughter, who was 13, had apps on her phone that the member had no clue about them. But as the member was exploring the content, apparently the daughter was having conversations with somebody, so adults that they didn't know. And the Rotarian had no clue about it until the Rotarian looked at the daughter's phone. And that's something I'm going to start exploring to figure out what apps are out there. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I think that's part of our awareness campaign. These are
Yeah.
apps that parents should look for.
Yeah. But the other problem that we had, because in my discussions with this person, is that yes, this person could make the daughter aware of what's going on, but the other issue is the parent is gone 10 hours a day. So
Yeah,
they don't keep track of the child, and the child could be at a friend's house or who knows where. And sometimes parents are lax, as we know. And this is how the kids find out about these apps and these programs, is they share. Well, they can go over to some friend's house, and even though at the daughter's home you can't do it, at the friend's home, yes, you can do whatever it is you want to do. And that's how, unfortunately, they become either educated about things they shouldn't be, or sometimes they get entrapped into these things without realizing what's happening. Because the people who are the customers, or the Johns, whatever you want to use them, are very slick, and they know how to manipulate the children. And of course, the children are immature or don't really understand what the adult is doing. And so they entice them with maybe clothes or meals or who knows what. Maybe the most important thing is attention that maybe the child doesn't feel like they're getting from mom or dad. And they know how to groom, and they slowly involve the child and hook the child in. And so for a parent, as I'm realizing, since I don't have children, is that it's really a challenging task to really keep on top of
But
what's
Michael,
happening.
Michael, one of the things we can educate people on is that all phones, especially for minors,
Mhm,
have the ability to have parental controls on it if the parents want.
mhm.
And it may be that we have to teach some people that too, because I know we've done
Okay,
that.
that's a good point. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Yeah.
I think a good point too is that we might want to look at doing here is possibly, there's part of the problem is educating the parents and the kids. But, there's still going to be a whole heck of a lot of buyers out there. So
Mhm.
is there an opportunity to bring in Metro And when parents do see these apps or whatever on the phones, is there a reporting mechanism that could go back to Metro that can get the buyers? Or at least, try and maybe hit
Mhm.
buyers of some sort. But
Oh, yeah, I don't know. That's great.
there's just the buyers aren't going to go away. So it's our effort to potentially
Mhm.
Metro to report when you see some suspicious activity and you think you might have a buyer.
I know they do a lot of stings, so it may be a situation, we gotta talk to that young lady that we spoke to
Yeah,
from.
well, that's the Lynn Green, who's
Yeah,
the manager.
I couldn't remember her name, because that's what
And
happens when you
that's
get.
how they caught, unfortunately,
Huh?
one of the members of our Rotary Club a few years ago. They caught one of our members, who
Yep.
was our sergeant at arms and a respected and wonderful member of our Rotary Club. And we had no idea. And I picked up the paper one morning and there he was in headlines. He'd been arrested for this. And he went to prison and he had a daughter about the same age as the person that he was targeting. And while he was in prison, he got a divorce and his daughter left town. And this is personal to me.
No, I agree. What I was gonna say is, there may be a way that if somebody does discover somebody, we can relay the person to the police, and they could try to do a sting on
We
them.
mentioned, Michael and I talked about on these apps, if there is I need help part
Mhm.
on these apps for the
Well, it could
kids.
be like what you do with when you have a burglar alarm in your house. You have that emergency button.
Mm.
Yeah, and you could be
Like-
something that maybe hits 911 or whatever.
Like I've fallen and I can't get up.
Did you hear about
Mhm.
that jewelry called Invisaware? And
No,
it looks like it's a necklace or a keychain or a bracelet, and it's got this little app thing, like it looks
No.
like an arm. And yeah, it's amazing. And you can let the authority, it'll go to the police station and let them know that you're in trouble.
ew, but sometimes that may not work out too well for me. Oh, well.
But we're not gonna solve all these problems tonight.
we
No,
Yeah.
no.
No.
But
And
this is really good. I applaud this committee. I think you're doing such a great job.
yeah, and as we realize, this is such a difficult problem or challenge to manage because, it's not, I'm going to use it like normal, I guess, that prostitution, a lot of these people hang out on the street corners. Well, these kids don't hang out on street corners.
And we have learned the hard way that the people that we're dealing with don't deal with that word very well. They think it's deflammatory, so it's all hard.
Yeah, so it's tough, and unless, like what Linda just related, unless the police or law enforcement does a sting or something. Um, but I think also this is very challenging for law enforcement because it's difficult to really track all the apps and where kids are working on and contacting. It probably takes a lot of legwork. I would
Rick
guess.
Engstrom, you probably know about that in your
Yeah.
past. You probably know how hard it is to deal with this in your past. Rick Engstrom, we're talking to you.
Are you there, Rick? Yeah, we're talking about, is it difficult for police to locate these child sex traffickers and the children?
I don't think this is working, so it's okay.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, but at least, yeah, it's a big piece of granite, but we'll be slowly chipping away at it.
That's great.
Would
Yeah,
there be
and this is
somebody,
not going to be something that's going to happen. This is
Would there
this
be
is going to be a
somebody-
long-term venture. And hopefully we will be in a position where we'll have enough people who will be moving out in the community and educating people. So it's more than just us, but who knows how many, maybe, who knows how many others might be doing this. Okay, is there anything else to cover tonight? Let's see here. Our next meeting is set for actually the same date, March 16th. And so I will put together notes, minutes, and send them out. And again, as was, if any information you have, whether it's like what Kate mentioned about at St. Jude's or anything, newspaper articles or anything that you might pick up off the internet, yeah, just send them out to the committee or send them to me and I'll send them out to the committee.
Cool. Thank you, Michael.
Okay, thank
Thanks,
you very
Mike.
much for your participation tonight. Have a
Thank you.
great evening.
You
Yeah.
too.
Good night, guys.
Good night.